r/TooAfraidToAsk. Shoddy Recipe 40 to 27 says, is it really as hard to get ahead in America as Reddit makes out? This is coming from the kid of immigrants. My parents busted ass in a third world country to get to America. They worked long hours, raised a family, went to school in their spare time, then traveled halfway across the world for work in the US. I look at the opportunities around me like community college, trade programs, work study, etc. And I don't understand why people think they have it so bad. There is literally opportunity everywhere compared to many places on earth. It just seems odd to me that most Americans think they have it so bad. DrunkSale0r82 says, Reddit is not the place for positivity. When it comes to the use, I think of Reddit as the glass is half empty kind of people, or more accurately the glass isn't there, because capitalism has ruined everything, and it costs too much to fill anyway, so why bother? OMG, I hate my life, frick, everything and everyone, kind of people. Grunchweaver says, my parents are both high school dropouts. My dad was lazy and barely scraped by, or had to live with his brother most of his life, but my mom worked hard and was able to support me. I did well in school, went to one of the best state universities in the US, state school, so minimal loans, and now I'm making plenty of money. It's still possible to move up the ladder. Sizzle1 says, same. Single parent. Dad was a hard worker but hit bumps. We were homeless at one point. Got an apartment and built our way back up. I went off to school, fully on loans, which I'm about to pay off. He's remarried and just finished renovating the house he bought 5 years after not having a place to live. I, a millennial, am now sitting in my single family home living room that I never plan to sell because of the trauma of being homeless caused me, counting down the days before I have to be back at my white collar job that offers 401k match and healthcare. We might even have a baby in 2024, who knows. It's not easy, and luck has certainly been on my side, but my friends and wife have all had similar lower to middle class upbringings, as well as everyone I work with. People are making it out here. It's not all doom and gloom. The red flag that I'm seeing now is that younger people are deciding not to go to college because it's not worth it. That gives me anxiety for the future. Archbishop Mo says, Americans do have it better than most. They just have it less good now than they did 50 years ago. Pac Eddie says, 50 years ago was a unique time. The US was the only undamaged major economy after WW2. That set up a generation of prosperity that will be hard to find again. r/TooAfraidToAsk. I Punch Dog says, in any movie or TV show where nudity is present, are the actors/actresses actually naked, or do they use a stunt person? Prasiatko says, if you can't see their face, then for big actors it's quite common for that to be a body double, even for scenes that don't involve nudity. Annoyed Sajakis says, I think in Game of Thrones they used a body double, but you can see the actress's face. Orange Biscuit 1 says, correct, they can edit the face onto the body. Boss Cobb says, depends on the actor/actress's preference. Some are fine with it, Jennifer Lawrence or Sydney Sweeney, while others use body double/CGI, Emils Clark. Dracogen says, basically some have doubles for different body parts, so it's possible the full frontal is the actor and the ass shot is a double. There was an actress who would do full nude, but had a foot double. Your Benjamin says, who's Clark? Scarfilm says, both. Unless you clearly see their face, it's likely a double. This goes for sex and stunt scenes. Source, Union Cinematographer for 30 years. Garim TT says, didn't Jay Lawrence do all her nudes in No Hard Feelings? 100% confidence to film that beach scene. Clara Tiemann says, Homegirl was tossing around nude suplexes no less. I always really liked Jennifer Lawrence, but this scene really redoubled my appreciation for her unique set of skills. Thegworm says, stunt cock. Gabriela All says, Nymphomaniac had some really graphic stuff which were CGI head swaps. The first time I watched that movie I was thinking, how did the actors actually agree to do these things? Super Salami IEI says, Thundergun hangs his own dung. No hesitation. No surrender. No man left behind. Quick Pirate 36 says, Ike, for example, Chris Hemsworth's ass in love, and Thunder was CGI. r/TooAfraidToAsk. Crickaboo says, where do blind people go on vacation? Do they go to hear and smell the sights? Are there popular places that are frequented by visually impaired people? Tech Voice says, there's a British comedian called Chris McCausland who's blind. He did a series called Wonders of the World I Can't See for Channel 4 that I thought was really good. The White Slave says, besides hearing and smelling, they can travel for taste and touch too. The cuisine and fabrics. Crickaboo says, good point. Bumfedlakegarib says, some of the best parts for sure. Touching a wall that's thousands of years old. Smelling tulips in Holland. Tasting some delicious French dish. Lalal69 Lalal says, last time I was in Park City, I saw a blind skier. He had a guide with him of course. Park City has an incredible abilities center, fun fact. Mia Does Things says, my cousin is an adaptive ski instructor there, he has a blast, and the entire program is amazing. Iwatas says, have you tried asking them? r/blind? I can't say for sure if this question would be approved. If you ask it to them like, I'm curious to know, wherever you go on vacation? Are there certain smells or sounds? Are there popular places? You might get us some great responses. Malflinders says, I can imagine that something like swimming or sunning on the sand would be nice, so beach vacations seem within the realm of possibility. Similarly, snowy destinations. Maybe to a theme park to ride roller coasters? There are lots of fun things to do that don't require sight. Scottwix says, my grandmother was legally blind, macular degeneration, and after she would host a foreign student, she'd accompany them back to their country and spend a couple weeks there. Obviously legally blind isn't the same as totally blind, but it wasn't without challenges. But she did it anyway. Largest Cobb says, I imagine vacations to tropical places are just as appealing to blind people as not blind people. Don't need to see to feel the sun on your skin and hear the ocean next to you. r/TooAfraidToAsk. Carla Susoff Chode says, does anybody ever actually piss on the grave of someone they hate? Or is that just something that people boast about maybe possibly doing? Also, doesn't that make life harder for the groundskeeper? The poor guy's got a job to do, and the last thing the family of the nice guy buried next to the bastard wants to smell is your piss. Aren't graveyards patrolled by security? You'd be rolling the dice on some criminal charges, wouldn't you? You'd have to plan this out and have some ninja/burglar skills. I don't think it's something you could do on a drunken whim. I think it's all the trickier if it's a celebrity. I remember when Jerry Falwell kicked off, there were thousands of people on social media boasting that there would be a lake of piss on his grave. I dunno, I have a feeling they were keeping an extra eye on that particular patch of dirt. Your thoughts? And has anyone actually done this? Why'd you do it, and how did it go? Sparky81 says, I can certainly believe that it's been done before. Admiral Orca says, you overstate how hard it is to get into a cemetery after hours. Only the most posh cemeteries have any kind of security. Most are completely unmanned. Some have a caretaker who lives in a house somewhere on the grounds. Also, go outside and take a deep breath. Smell all that animal piss. No? So pissing on someone's grave isn't going to do any harm to anyone. If you piss on the grass, it's just like pissing on the grass anywhere else. If you piss on the marker, it'll wash off in the next rain. Source: have spent a lot of time in cemeteries after hours. Mr. Slosh says, I'll be regularly watering the flowers on my father's grave when he does finally pass. The worst criminal charges you're likely to face is trespass and mischief, and since I'm his only surviving kin, so it's not like the family would be wanting to pursue civil actions against me. Pistol Petunia says, my dad used to bounce my forehead off the walls and tell me I did it to myself, and my stepmom used to drag me and my brother around the house by my hair and then act like she had no idea why we had bald spots. They also used to lock us in a closet when they left the house and regularly tell me I was going to burn in hell for doing regular kid stuff like eating food out of the pantry without permission, and wouldn't allow me to have friends or do homework at home BC I was being punished. After I got the guts to report them to my school, they lied to CPS and said we were making it up. The bruises she quit trying to cover up with makeup, black eyes, bald spots, shitty ill-fitting clothing, and pages of abuse detailed didn't lie though. You bet your ass I'll be wearing a dress to the cemetery and watering their graves when they finally stop wasting the good oxygen. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.